entertaining and leaves you thinking differently than you did when you came in. So Dan Goldberg brings a whole new approach to the subject of leadership. He likes to have fun with customers and employees and see businesses grow as a result of that. Dan's unique background means he speaks from experience. He was a stand-up comedian, which I didn't know. So that was a little factoid I learned.
You can put anything on the back of the book.
You can put anything on the back of the book, true. But I think it's true. And, and a hippie entrepreneur who grew his business venture into a 55-store retail chain with a strong brand name that we recognize today, and that is Four Eyes. Dan now trains, coaches, and speaks at organizations of all sizes on effective leadership, sales, management, and business development. He is passing on his proven ideas to other enlightened leaders to keep life and business in perspective, to have fun during work, and to smile at the end of the day as you watch your business grow profitably. He's going to share some of his insights from his new book, Lighten Up and Lead. You'll have an opportunity on your way out, if it's something you think could help you in your day-to-day business, to get a copy of that. But with no further ado, Mr. Dan Goldberg.
You really can write anything on the back of the book. Nobody stops you from saying anything.
Ah, bueno, professor, I want to tell you about a little bit of leadership. Yeah, thank you very much.
I'll be here next year. You know, it's interesting because I was a hippie. I had very, very, very long hair for about 30 years. It's in the car now. As it is with my beard. They share the back seat. And it's interesting because it gave me a different perspective. I think most of you have heard of Four Eyes, haven't you? You know about it. And it's all over the country. And it really did change the way people bought eyewear, and believe it or not, the way lawyers market and hospitals and doctors market. And that doesn't come from me. It comes from the Senate Select Committee on Small Businesses and the Federal Trade Commission. So, and I didn't know that until a lawyer came up to me and was cursing at me and told me that. But nevertheless, it's becoming an entrepreneur. How many of you here are entrepreneurs? That's a French word that means losing money for 5 years. Now, it's very interesting because I actually worked for a company in Ridley Park. You know Ridley Park? It's not far. And I was an optician at a place called Professional Optical, and it doesn't exist anymore. Of course. That's what I did to the business, okay? But one incident, which is in the book, actually, proved to me that I got to get out of Ridley Park. It was the first time that I ever waited on someone. And it was a little woman, and her name was Mrs. Ryan. We talk about her. This is a true story. I'm not making this up. And it was the first time that I ever fit a woman or a person with glasses. And I was very nervous, and I had come from the back, and the whole time that I worked in the optical business, I ran the machines. You know, there's the dispensing optician and the technical optician. And by the way, I'm an optician, not a magician, so don't expect to walk out of here with a whole new life. All right? But anyway, I had this woman and in front of me, and she was about yay big, and she was very formal, and she had a nice little Irish accent. And she came in, and her name was Mrs. Ryan. Did I ever tell you about this book? No, I never did. And I was, now I can't put this mic down. So, Barry, you are the man. Yeah. Mrs. Ryan comes, and I have to change glasses, and I am so nervous looking at her. I'm staring her in the face. Anybody here an optician, by the way? Not yet. Okay. So I am so conscious of looking her in the eye, and I'll pretend that I'm both people, that I did this. I was putting the glasses on, and I did this, and I couldn't understand why the glasses weren't fitting on the back of her ears. And I became very very disturbed that no matter what I did, I couldn't push this is a true story. And she said to me, look down on my face. And at that time, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to run and hide, beg for forgiveness, become a rhinoplastic surgeon. But that's what happened. Now, I don't know if on this side you can see that, but it's like I'm doing a rhinoplastic surgery with a pair of nose pads. And I had a choice to make. And the choice was, do I apologize? Do I tell her that she was my first victim? Which she was. Okay. Or do I move forward and have fun with it? And luckily, Mrs. Ryan, I guess this was before everybody became litigious. Mrs. Ryan began to laugh, and I began to laugh. And what I did with Mrs. Ryan, now this was a professional optical in Ridley Park. Mrs. Ryan and I became very close friends as a customer, patient, and practitioner standpoint. I mean, she didn't come to my house every day for a cup of coffee, but she knew me. And when I started Four Eyes, I called Mrs. Ryan to tell her I was leaving and to please send her friends and bring herself and her family to work with me and get glasses for me at Four Eyes, and she did. And of course, from that point on, she told people about me. And she told them in a way that was kind of loving and friendly and fun, that she had a good time with me. And not in, but she had a good time with me, and that meant that we could enjoy life moving forward. And that began to build my business. And before I knew it, I had this little store at 15th and Pine. It was called the Electric Factory Ticket Office. That's where all the hippies went. And in reality, that's really where my hair is now. But everybody knew the address because all the rock concert tickets were sold there. Anybody remember that? Yeah. Remember the Electric Factory?
30 francs.
30 francs is where I hung out. 30 francs is where I thought I recognized you. Unbelievable. And the dartboard. Remember the dartboard?
All of it.
All. Not all of it. Or at least don't tell it. These people. Okay, so as the business grew, I found something very interesting. I went out and I hung out with people and I put my little posters up and had some fun. We were selling glasses for $25 and everybody else was selling for $125 or $225. I think you do my ears beyond $354. Sorry. But I do laps at times. You had to have quality inexpensive. You can't have cheap inexpensive. There's a difference. So we sold eyewear inexpensively. This was many, many years ago when $25. I guess $25 today would be worth $3,000. I think we started in 18, whatever it was. But anyway, it was many years ago, and it was fun. And one of the reasons why people came was not only because the price was a fifth of what it was everywhere else, because you all know that you can go places and buy something inexpensively and have a rotten time there. And never want to go back, even if it was 1/2 the price, 1/5 the price. You're just not going to go back, am I right? If the people make you feel like a piece of dirt, you're not going back, right? Well, what we did was we put out cookies and had people come in and you can come and hang out. It was sort of the Starbucks before Starbucks. All the hippies were there, so the guy hippies would come to see the girl hippies. They didn't have to wear glasses, and if they couldn't see the girl hippies, we'd make them glasses so they could see the girl hippies. Okay? And then we would have fun. And everybody would come for the show. And then all of a sudden we had to expand, so who would come to work for us? Only people that wanted to have fun. Only people who got it. Only people who understood our philosophy. No one could work for me unless they wanted to have a good time.